transformational use cases for improving productivity on ERP, on any transactions that you do on your day-to-day life. We thought this is a very, very interesting point to be talking about this because keeping aside all the hype on AI, what's in it for me as an enterprise user is, I think, a topic which nobody is speaking about much. So for talking about that, I have a very, very interesting speaker. Vibhu, welcome once again to this session on the power of business applications in transforming lives. Very, very happy to have you here. Vibhu has more than 2 decades of experience across technology sector, doing various roles in sales management across the entire region of Middle East, Asia, Africa. And he's currently the regional sales manager of Epicor Corporation, which is a front runner in intelligent enterprise applications in ERP. He has been overseeing large teams, business operations across multiple regions, and he's developed large organizations. He's set up 2 large data centers in UAE and India. He's set up an entire business center in India and set up the partner ecosystem for Antworks and Infor. He's also worked for SAP and Microsoft. So he's the apt person because these are all the key players in this entire space. Vibhu, welcome once again and look forward to a very interesting session.
Thank you, Kumar.
So everyone, I'll straight away jump into, first and foremost, a kind of a preview session. A lot of you have been reading a lot about AI. AI has been driving a lot of use cases around various aspects of content. I'm sure quite a few of us have already tried ChatGPT and various other applications of LLMs. But just to get the context and understand, what kind of AI applications are there we do and what can you really do with AI? Can I really trust AI to do critical business decision making for my behalf and so on and so forth? Can you kind of set the tone and start talking about a broad overview and then we'll jump into more specific areas?
No, definitely, Kumar. No, first of all, no, thanks for the kind introduction. I think my 20-year journey did see a lot of transformation, not just within our customer landscape, but a lot of it was driven because technology was fast evolving. And now we are at the massive cusp of AI getting introduced, not just as a platform, but AI being an embedded technology or a tool within the prevalent current technological landscape. And I think that's where the lines get blurred between industry 4.0 and industry 5.0, especially if you're in the manufacturing sector or industrial sector. So AI is the one which is pivoting industry 4.0 to 5.0. Besides, there are other tools. I'm not undermining anything else, but AI, I think, is on the forefront. So for the audience, and I think, Kumar, you mentioned in a large level, see, AI within its own grasp and level has its own evolution. Like every technology evolves, AI has been evolving. Can we say AI is new? No, AI has been there for a very long time, 30, 40, 50 years, I think. But it's evolving, it's learning, it's understanding. People are getting better. Other technologies are coming in. But today, fast forward, if we come to today, I think the most prevalent use of artificial intelligence is in the form of agentic AI or agents, which does the task for you. Querying data, getting answers to the questions, retrieving information, whether it's in the form of text, voice, video, whatever it is, or in the form of a report. So I think that's on the broader line where we are on the AI part, which is agentic AI. And the other one I would say, which is really critical, and the tools which are in our hands today is more generative AI. Generative AI is not retrieving queries, it's not answering questions, it's creating stuff from the scratch for you. You want to create something brand new, like an advertisement, for example, and you just define the parameters. And again, I'll quote a very simple example. It's a classic case of generative AI. It's not querying an existing data. I'm forgetting the name. It's a very large company in Northern Europe, Netherlands mainly, and they are into making sunglasses for skiers. So these are highly advanced glasses. It has a different kind of precision. It can operate in extreme sunlight because the sun during the snow days is pretty sharp. And of course, there's a lot of protective benefits. Now they came up with new models. They wanted to do an advertisement. And they've been working over the many years with agencies who would run advertisements for them. And now advertisements are in the form of social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all forms of media, and it's quick media. You need to capture audience. So the agency they were working on, where they introduced this new goggles with new technological advancements, new color schemes combination, and they again wanted to run a campaign, a brand new campaign with new faces, new style, new music, everything. The quote this time they got from their agency was 40,000 euro, and the turnaround time was about 45 to 60 days when the first cut draft of the advertisement will come. So a bunch of smart people, mainly youngsters, I would say, pretty young people, they had access to the new AI tools, and there are plenty available. Paid versions are even better. They started defining what they really want their ad to look and feel like. Is it a personal touch? Is it adventure? Is it sport? Is it adrenaline? They define some parameters. The images are already available. They just uploaded their images on the tool. And in a span of 6 hours, at the cost of 4,000 euros, that was the total spend they did on the platform and photography and all those things, which was to be done any which way. They turned out with an advertisement which actually was fantastic. It clicked. They refined it further, and on the third day they launched it, and and it turned out exactly what they thought they would want, and even better. So it's a very classic use case. It's generative AI. So this is the power. I'm trying to narrow down where AI comes into play. Now, how AI is working in the background is very different. AI can work on multi-model scenarios. It learns from variety of data. Let's understand. It could be text, it could be audio, and it could also now be video. You can train AI to look at a picture of a bird and start telling what this bird is like. And Kumar, you took a very right word, LLM, this large language models. That's what AI was already working on. Gone are the days. Now, if you want to go to generative AI, it's all about LQMs, large quantitative models, large sets of numerical data, and AI is plugged onto it. How do you read that data? So it can have a worm's eye view on a particular data, but it also can have a bird's eye view to look at a large set of data and come up with the meaning which a human eye or a brain cannot fathom at all, but an AI platform can actually look into it. So, and then they start performing mathematical and statistical analysis. You asked a question: is it making life difficult or something like that? Is it critical for decision making? It helps decision making. There is downside to it. There could be hallucination. I mean, you could come up with something, but you still don't know if it is true. Yeah, it's a tool which has thrown some analysis back to you, but you don't know if it is true or not. So people fear. If you are making a business decision and you're very early stages of AI adoption, you don't know how well it works or if it does it work or not. Will you make an immediate decision? No, you'll double guess. You'll probably put your accountant also on the task and say, validate what AI told me. So people are going through that phases yet. So hence, the trust factor is not 100% established. So critical decision making. So let's talk about critical decision making. I would say still need human intervention. So human has to be kept in the loop, and along with AI, it has to be an integrated approach. AI is there to support and help, but humans, at the end of the day, are still involved and should be involved for critical decision making.
Absolutely spot on, Vibhu. And I mean, content was the first step. I think data and then probably prediction. It's still evolving. There's still a lot of lot more to see in this space. Absolutely. So that leads kind of to the more specific question, which is, personally, many people are adopting AI, and a lot of freelancer content creators, creative people are using it to augment, enhance, And I have also started hearing use cases around legal firms using AI to give specific, clean up to the brief, the clauses, summarize, etc., etc. But when it comes to companies, enterprises, say retail, manufacturing, so on and so forth, which are more typical organizations, they still are struggling to make sense of this whole change that is happening in the rest of the world. Will it really simplify life for organizations? Will it become more complex? Will we be able to move faster? Will we be able to move slower? How do we make sense of something like this that is moving and changing all the time?
Yeah, so you see, adoption. Let's narrow down to one word: adoption. Organizations adopting
Yep.
AI, and but we got to layer it down. You're saying that your question says that companies are still struggling with ERP adoption. Will AI simplify or not? I think it's a very tricky question, because the question really is the pyramid, the digital pyramid within an organization, right? Um, let's break it down into a step back to say that organization needs to assess what stage of digital maturity are they in. Are they a company which has still analog systems? Are they still working on basic Excel spreadsheets? I think gone are those days, but there could be some organization. Or they're working on some custom built small type of softwares. Or have they adopted a standard but basic ERP? Or have they adopted an industry based strong end to end core ERP? So it all depends upon which stage of the journey you are. So if you're at a stage where you don't have a full blown standard ERP, core ERP in your organization, and you're already talking AI, I think the adoption of the ERP itself will become difficult, because you're confusing the step. You're trying to climb much harder. See, for AI, always for AI, for it to operate and give you any help to the organization, it needs data sets, and it sometimes need large data sets, and that consolidation of data sets, it happens only when you have a mature ERP system in place. You have repositories of data, you have document management plugged with the ERP, the transactions are flowing into the right place, the customer data is in the right place, it's segregated in the right way, and ERP helps you do all that, right? So, and then now on top of it, you put AI, I think it enhances the efficiency and productivity of the organization. So please understand where your digital maturity is, and then comes, what do we adopt first? Uh, AI in itself, if you are already having a core ERP, and you are in the process of implementing, and you understand why you're taking on the ERP, the why is clear, then AI in many ways will simplify the adoption, right? If you are adopting an ERP just to post a transaction because you never had a transaction system in place, then AI you can take a few more days, years for AI to come in. But you already have the transaction based system, then AI has to come in to start taking on these routine tasks and simplifying them for you. Report generation, query of the data for quick understanding, and then decision making is something AI can help when it is already plugged into the right ERP system, and it helps you reduce the risk also, of making the wrong decisions. Yeah, and you may have more plans. You may have plans for automating your full factory or your industry or whatever business you do. It includes advanced manufacturing execution system, etc. So if on your core and standard ERP, you have AI plugged into it, or is it part of your core ERP, then moving faster on the digital path to other specific solutions become easier and faster. So it all depends where you are. So the other one I would say is, and it's a very different case. I'm not talking about the digital maturity per se, but let's take a parallel track to it. How do you deploy an ERP? So adoption means user adoption. Adoption means the processes are set within the ERP. But the third adoption, I would say, is the actual implementation. Company is implementing in phases an ERP system. Now, AI within the ERP is one part. Let's ignore it for a minute. AI in general, And I'm going to throw in a Kumar a very controversial statement, and I think some of the system integrators don't like it at this stage. They are also evolving along with the AI. I see every business is impacted in some way, a lot of positive impact, I would say. With the advent of AI, a lot of ERP implementation cycles will shorten. It has got nothing to do, I'm not talking about the AI embedded within the ERP. It's using AI platforms and technology to do, for example, BAUs.
Yep.
Do we need those lengthy times and processes? And I'm getting questioned from a lot of the ERP implementation partners that this is not good for us. It's not good for our business. I said it's good for your business. I mean, imagine a customer who was taking 9 months or 6 months to implement an end-to-end ERP. With AI coming in, implementation cycles will shorten. Customer will be able to do a lot of work themselves. If you have the right processes, documents, you put it in the tool will do the BAUs for you. They will BAQs will be done, sorry, and then it will start implementing in the right fashion and right way. So that's AI actually from outside also can help the ARP adoption. So in nutshell, but I would say interesting times ahead. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'm just a reminder to everyone who joined late. If you have questions, please post it in the questions box because I see that someone has raised their hand. So just if you post the questions, we will certainly answer all your questions as we go along. Very interesting. So Vibhu, you're saying walk before you run, and run a little before you start sprinting, and things will actually work out a lot better than if you just kind of start running and stumble. Absolutely right. I think that applies to any kind of large complex projects, and AI has so many other implications, right? One of those implications being security. Data security is a growing concern, right? Now, there were a lot of talk about some of the AI models pirating, third-party data and using it in an unauthorized way to speed up the training. And when somebody is pushing enterprise data into AI, they always have this concern: is my proprietary data going to be safe? I guess this is where maybe there is a big difference when you have AI embedded in a ERP rather than using a third party generic AI, which could be open to the whole world. This could probably be one big concern that our audience has. So if you could just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's an important concern. It's a very important concern. AI has thrown people off the hook. People suddenly are getting mimic voice phone calls.
Yep.
That's scary, right? But then let's put it back in the context of an enterprise, and then enterprise which is running an ERP. So there, as you rightly said, there are two angles to it. One is um, AI embedded within your ERP system. I'm saying it is as secure as your ERP system. AI on its own within the ERP is not doing anything. It's only working on the data which is already available within the system. You are not exposing it externally in the public. So I spoke about agentic AI models, right? Where the queries are happening. And that's the most prevalent use case right now. Within the ERP world, generative ERP is secondary. It's coming, it'll come. But today, if the biggest use cases are within the agentic AI models, so this is already woven within the ERP and around the industry standard for security access. For example, and I can take Epicor example, we use Azure OpenAI. Now this is already governed by the Azure security policy. So nothing is going outside the complete Azure data center and the security standards they follow. So that's clear. Now within Epicor, and we have our AI tool, which is called Prism, Epicor Prism, which is part of our Epicor Kinetic ERP. So when you log into Epicor as a user, it's the same user access. And hence it is governed by the same access when you're also enabling the Prism or the AI part within the ERP. So there's no separate tool which is interfering in the whole process. Now, Any approval required in this process will be done by a human. The human is already in the loop, so controls the AI user hierarchy is the same user hierarchy which is given to that particular user a bit, and how it was enabled. Now, when they do any queries or they want any data or any customer specific data, the model is already trained, the data is already available. Agentic AI job is to go find that information, analyze that information, query it, and then bring the data back to you. And whatever database you're running in the backend, in our case, it's Azure and it's SQL and all, it comes back to you. So it's completely governed and enabled. But to your point, AI platform which is outside the ERP. If it is within your own data center or your cloud security standards, it will follow the standards. But if you're using a third-party AI tool which is out there in the public, it's a free version, and then you're throwing your company confidential data, I would think twice. For example, I would not want to throw in my personal investment details and usernames and passwords in an open AI platform, which I don't know much about, and then worry. It's a case of worry. So, which, like, for example, you'll not put that information on google.com, would you? No, right? Same. So today, do you? I mean, if any really youngsters, young audience in this, any college students or in their early 20 people in this audience right now, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you, if you have to search something about World War II, you can go to google.com and search, you can go to bing.com and search, but are you using that as a search engine? You don't have to anymore. You can open your WhatsApp and type the question over there. The WhatsApp AI will give you the answer within your WhatsApp. You can go to Copilot and ask that question. You can go to ChatGPT and ask that question. It will do the search, it will do the analysis. And if you wanted to send pictures of that World War II, some specific areas, they'll also do that. So it's all in that context, right? So I would say data is fully secure and safe as long as you're following the full security guidelines for your
Absolutely.
ERP.
Yeah. So, and that kind of addresses, concerns that people have. But, what do I get out of it is the next logical question. Yes, uh, I feel more confident if it's built into the ERP. I feel confident that my data is secure. But how does it add value? Will I be able to do something faster? Will I be able to take decisions faster, or will it be more agile? Can I have more use cases coming up in the future? Where do we stand on this, Vibhu?
So no, definitely agility. That's the whole bottom line to it. Agility, faster decision making, accuracy, efficiency. All those factors come into the play, and that's why the whole world is moving very fast. And I think Epicor does it very well. So as I mentioned earlier, what we have is something called Epicor Prism. That's Epicor's AI tool or platform, which is embedded within our ERP system. And in our case, in this Middle East and our markets over here is Epicor Kinetic, which is our manufacturing based ERP system. So, as I said, Prism is fully implemented within our ERP, and it's agentic type. Queries and systems are responded in natural language interrogation. I think that's a very, very important part. The LLM part is fully taken care of. Uh, Currently, our focus is to automate simple, repetitive tasks across the system. So ERP helped people by not opening 10 files, just one system. This is the button, this is the flow to the transaction. Now, that repetitive tasks, which are routine, are also now taken over by the ERP's AI tool in itself. So that's agility, that's making it faster. And the future of this agentic AI is slowly, steadily becoming more autonomous and self driven. And remember, AI platforms are always built on self learning. The more you do, the more you operate, it gets better and better. Uh, so people who are running the ERP system will be able to perform more complex tasks of estimating, planning, executing, and without minimal human brain application here. You will be focused more towards decision making, more towards what's the future like, what should we do, rather than focusing on the current and getting, taking off this routine task. And with armed with better information, with complex automation, AI will be the part of system, not just a tool. Hence agility and better decision making will always come and play. So uh, people shouldn't be scared, people shouldn't be afraid. It's a tool to enhance the productivity of an ERP system itself. So when you say that my ERP, I deployed it 1 year ago, it's been 2 years we are running, we're still having this issue or that issue, I haven't really got the ROI of this tool. Once AI comes into it, the ROI will be much faster. So if you're seeing the ROI in 3 years, you'll start seeing it within 1.5 to 2 years, even lesser. And it's only going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the whole beauty of it. The more data it has to play with, the faster and better its decisions will be. Yeah.
That's right.
So coming to a more, narrower area, what kind of optimization on, say, supply chains or financials will be possible as we move forward? Because it can keep learning and improving. Will it really capture the nuances of human intuition and industry expertise at some point in time? How deep can this go?
So it's a very specific use case, Kumar, supply chain, right? Supply chain finances as well. But if I have to really pick that within an ERP, within an organization, which is one place where AI's true capability within the ERP will give you the maximum bang for your buck, immediate returns. You can do stuff is supply chain, from manufacturing, logistics, transportation, etc. Finance also, I'm not saying no, but immediate work can be done on your core operation, which is your supply chain, assuming it's a manufacturing industry. So Prism actually does that. It can drill down information across systems and modules. And within supply chain, let's take an example. I need to check really urgently on a material required, and I have to compare it with the demand, and then what's the availability in stock. Before you need to find, you don't do wrong commitments, the system will tell you well in advance what needs to happen and what's missing. And in a fast manufacturing scenario, it can also immediately suggest a buy or make a decision on the time and cost of that material. It won't do it for you if you don't want it to, but it will tell you what can be done. Now, this is the point where human can be in the loop to approve. For example, to buy this item against the manufacturing it based on the above facts. AI can also, at that point in time, now human has made a decision, needs to be bought. AI can immediately check for all the approved suppliers which are already in the system for that particular part. It can help send an RFQ request to all those particular selected vendors. It can also capture the responses, collate, and submit again to the approver for supplier selection. So it went to 50, RFQ went to 15 suppliers, which was shortlisted by AI. It came back with the data and it says, okay, these top 4 are the best. Can you decide? So vendor analysis dashboard can happen and can be generated by AI to support the decision. So your dashboard can be prepared by AI. AI can then also create a PO for you and submit for you selected the vendor. Now you say, okay, out of this, from this dashboard, I select one, and then AI can do rest of the job of PO creation, approval. And once approved, it will also send it to the supplier. So it's a whole supply chain effect, what's in stock, what's not in stock, how much is the cost, who's the supplier, what manufacturing part number, etc. So this is just one scenario. The multiple scenarios can be created. And I think in my opinion, and what we are seeing within our customers, I think the entire supply chain department is maximizing the use of AI and have the maximum number of use cases at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, even simple things like what were the historic prices I awarded to my suppliers
Yeah, absolutely.
to take an intelligent decision. Do I wait or do I make or do I buy based on what happened you don't need to go on a treasure hunt. The AI will just pull it out and give it to you. Absolutely, this is incredible productivity.
Yeah.
Uh, I think we talked about supply chain now. Financials, obviously, logical next step. Again, the people in the organization who go through tons of data, they are always immersed in Excel sheets. Even if they're using an ERP, they still want, five other ways of looking at something. So, how will this help CFOs? Will they be reducing risks for the company? Will they be taking better financial decisions? How can you give some examples on how this is going to happen?
No, all that is true, except that they will have a smaller role in decision making. No, that's not true. They will continue to have very important roles
Yeah,
within the organization. In fact, their roles will be looking into the future more than looking into the current or the past,
yeah,
because the tool and the systems will do it for themselves. So,
absolutely.
FPA, for example, that's financial planning and analysis. That's also one of the products which Epicor provides to its customers, which sits on top of Kinetic, and that FPA tool is also AI enabled. So it's financial planning and analysis. It's budgeting consolidation tool. It does all the
Yeah,
analysis, and it's a tool which all the finance folks love, and all of them really want this. So the AI and the ML model within this particular tool can churn out data based on the historical performance. So that becomes the key. Historical performance is a very solid benchmark when you do the budgeting and consolidation exercise, right? Without that, you cannot just create budget out of the air. You cannot create budget out of projections only, right? History has to be counted for, and that's where this tool really helps the analyst. They also, with that tool, you can understand the pattern. It's not just looking at the number. It will create the underlying historical patterns and helps the CFOs or the cost analysts to extrapolate that data. And I think that's where the true power comes from. Hence, the forecasting financial metrics like budgets, cash flow, rolling forecast, all will be a very quick turnaround. So this, remember, there were the days that, and I still get that from our customers, or we won't make a decision to buy ERP because we just closed our year, or we are going to close our year in 3 months, but we have started a budgeting cycle for the next year. And that budgeting cycle doesn't come to an end. It runs for
yeah.
2 3 months. Can you imagine? And if it's a large organization which has headquarter, which has 5 subsidiaries, 10 locations, 4 different businesses, and all of them has an accountant or a finance manager sitting on top. So they first do budgeting at their level, then all of them meet together in a room, not one time, at least 15 times, and then do a group consolidation, and then the consolidation had at the group level. So Epicor financial planning and analysis can help bring all these finance managers together, and data is right there presented to you. So imagine a 2 3 month budgeting cycle can turn around into a week long budgeting cycle, even lesser. So I think that's a big win. So the role is not smaller. The role has become more enhanced because now we have much. We have finance people are very smart people. They're already, imagine a smarter person being handed over the best tool. It's a lethal combination. Imagine what all they can do. So, but again, because it's still new, the finance people are still trying to understand that the analysis I got, the patterns I saw, they're still verifying it to ensure that the way we have operated in the last 10 years, is this something in line? What AI is doing for me, something in line, or is it telling me that what I did for the last 10 years was totally wrong? So there is a little bit of mistrust because if it's aligned, then you feel, okay, I was always on the right track. But if it is not aligned, then AI becomes the enemy. And oh, I've done it like my data, my brain told me this is the path. AI is telling me the path is totally different. So that way, a little bit of verification and testing and trust building is happening. And I think it's a journey. We should let that happen. And but at the end of the day, this data is helping people to make more in-depth. The data has more depth. Please understand, it's not just data. It's not just a panel. It has depth in it. It
Yes.
has layer. It has peeling the onion. It helps you peel the onion. At human level, you cannot continue peeling the onion unless you have an IQ of Einstein. So AI does that for you. So it is helping even finance folks make smarter, quicker decisions. And but at the end of the day, I think acceptance should still be with the humans and the core C level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think agility will certainly improve. Decision making will be better. Visibility, you could always miss something, but the AI is crawling your entire enterprise data all the time. So chances of misses happening are drastically reduced. If it's in the ERP, it's going to be caught somewhere. So that's a huge plus. Absolutely. So that brings us to, a logical next step, right? How will reactive become proactive? I think you already alluded to this just a couple of minutes ago. How is this process going to be enabled and make everything a lot smoother, moving away from reacting to something that's happening to looking ahead and taking smarter decisions?
Yeah. I think this is more from the BI point of view, I would say. FPA was slightly different. And again, by this question is great, but I think it's not just the finance teams. It's probably sitting with the owners, sitting with with the C level, sitting
Yep.
with the leadership of any organization, where they make fundamental decisions about the organization, its people, its customers, its products, its growth, right? So what they need to be empowered with the right information, and they're not the ones who are going to do a deep analysis of data. They want to see what results come out of the analysis, and they want to see everything in one snapshot. And this can be done with the help of a powerful tool like business intelligence, right? And if you look at the word business intelligence, this word is not new. Everybody has some form of BI tool with them, and it also is intelligence. So somebody coined this 20, 30 years ago. Business intelligence has now become artificial intelligence. So that's also one of the evolution of AI, right? BI was more dashboards, getting the data together, presenting in a very boring format. Then it became a colorful format. Then it became graphs and charts. Then it came with drill down features, etc. So it will help the C level with reports, analytical dashboards, etc. It covers departments. You want manufacturing data, customer data, sales data, employee data, their performance data, etc. Now, AI tool, when the dashboards are created, they can actually start analyzing on your behalf the entire dashboard or the individual matrix within the dashboard and suggest actions. Now, this is the next level of evolution. So business intelligence is giving you data. When you put AI on top of it, it brings cognition in it.
Yeah.
So that's what we call cognitive ERP. Now, we're querying the data, we're analyzing the data, and then the next step is it is helping you make decisions using that dashboard. So this is extremely powerful for the C level. Now, simple example, comparative sales performance will lead to what kind of marketing or collaboration plans you need to do. Inventory planning to suggest optimal levels and leading to sourcing. Where do you source from? Quality failures leading to new QM metrics and methods. AI can actually help you design the new matrix. It'll tell you where you're failing. It'll tell you why you're failing, and it'll eventually start giving you corrective actions. Again, you take it or not, it's another matter. And this AI on top of your BI is again a powerful tool. And of course, we at Epicor have a product called Epicor Grow, which is a fully AI powered, no code, low code BI platform. Again, it sits on Kinetic, our ERP. So if you're an ERP Epicor Kinetic customer or looking at adopting an ERP, Grow can sit on top of it, FPA can sit on top of it and give you a holistic view of your ERP and help. I mean, if you were to go and talk about Epicor Kinetic ERP to the C level, I think you don't need to show Kinetic anymore.
Yep.
Just go with Grow and show the dashboards, and I think that'll help you adopt or help you convince your management to take on a full-blown end-to-end ERP system.
Absolutely. Yep. And I think all the power is in the numbers. That's what. So this kind of brings, that was the last question. There are audience questions which are coming in, but I thought before we jump into the questions, maybe a quick 2 minutes on what Epicor is. You've been telling us a lot about what Epicor can do, but what is,
Oh, why
yeah.
not? Would
So,
would love to. I represent Epicor. I've been uh, running this operation for the last four plus years for Middle East, Africa, and India. But reality is that Epicor is a 50+ year old organization, headquartered out of Austin, United States. But we have about presence in about more than 120 countries. That's where we have customers. So it's a massive presence, 21,000 plus customers, and we I think 4,700 or 800 employees as of the last count. So pretty lean organization. But what I really wanted to say here is that when I say founded in 1972, 50+ years, and the topic which you're talking about, AI. So when we talk about AI embedded into Kinetic, please understand that it's not just an AI platform which is agentic and querying data. The AI is working on 50 years of best practices embedded in the Kinetic ERP. So
absolutely.
if you're going to take an AI platform or a tool and embed into an ERP which came into formation, which is not industry specific, which doesn't have industry benchmarks, it doesn't have that knowledge, processes set into the ERP, that AI is just working on data.
Yep.
Epicor Prism not just works on the data which is there in the system, it also works on the best practices embedded within the core ERP system. So when the workflow happens, how manufacturing should happen, what customers should adopt, it is AI is working on it. So that's, I think, a big power we have. We work in many different industries, but for the sake of the discussion today in our region, I think manufacturing is our core business. And the other one I really wanted to mention was take the headache out of customers should take the headache out of their mind. Cloud is the way to go. And not just Epicor. If you're really looking to adopt AI powered ERP system, it will generally work on a cloud-based system, not on-premise, because the AI computing power is way too high.
Yep.
Your old data center will not let you do it. It won't have the right tools and technology. But the cloud-based systems come with embedded. It's not just the ERP, the further SQL and the databases and the middleware. They all have these AI embedded features in it, which helps you adopt. So cloud is the other area where we are excelling. Most of our customers have who are adopting Kinetic for the first time are going straight to cloud-based systems, and the ones which have already our customers for a long time and are on premise are also migrating to cloud, and the system is the same. And
Yep.
now you don't have the headache of the hardware security, etc.
Absolutely. Excellent. And of course, you mentioned Kinetic, Epic, or Prism sitting on top of Kinetic many times. So maybe, I thought 2 minutes on what it is all about would help the people who
Yeah,
are
so
watching.
Prism is the name of the AI technology or the tool which Epicor has. It's part of all our core ERP systems, and for this region, part of Epicor Kinetic. Uh, if you're a cloud-based customer, we do two major releases every year, and our next release, which is early 2025, somewhere in the summertime, we expecting Prism to be part of our system. It's already released in USA for our customers. In the month of May, which starts tomorrow, we have Epicor Insights in Las Vegas, where it'll be fully announced, launched, etc. Then in June, we're planning to do that in Europe with Epicor Insights, and soon customers in this part of the world will also have access to it. If you're an on-premise customer, unfortunately, we're not doing it on purpose. We want that to be available, but technically, it's not possible because AI is part of the overall Azure technology stack and using all the power of those engines, and that's how it works. And coming up with AI for every customer's own hardware is limiting. If your
Yes.
hardware doesn't support, Prism won't work. So it's agentic, it's moving towards generative, and you'll see a lot of access and features. And if anybody's interested to know what it is, we can show it. You can actually see Prism in action, what it can do for you. And the beauty is, with every release, you'll see more use cases and agents being deployed and enabled within Kinetic.
Yeah, and that essentially the power of cloud as well, right? It's totally seamless. The new agents will keep coming, new use cases will keep coming. You don't need to keep pushing upgrades or doing anything about it. So there's multiple pluses from both tech perspective, infra perspective, and staying up to date and getting the latest and the best. Thanks, Vibhu. And little bit about us, Ryan Bruke. I represent Ryan Bruke. First of all, thank you everyone for attending the session. We will be answering your questions shortly. Very briefly, we are one of the Epicor's largest partners in the region. We are an Epicor premium partner. We have executed projects across over 42 countries. We are present in the Middle East, in India, in Europe, and across all multiple industry verticals that Vibhu mentioned earlier. We have delivered Epicor ERP for our customers. We continue to have customers over many years. We have our oldest customers are with us more than a decade. Besides Epicor, we also are a tech company. We do a lot of product development, cloud development, and SaaS development. And we have a significant number of Epicor certified engineers as well as PMP certified project managers, which helps us overall deliver a lot of value to all of you. We look forward to hosting you in many more such sessions. But before we end the sessions, we do have some questions, Vibhu. So I'll just take a few more minutes of your time. First question is from Samyukta. She's asking, for those considering AI adoption, what kind of budget, technical expertise, or change management do we need within our own company? I guess what's my next step is the question, basically, if I'm seriously thinking about AI.
So change management, I mean, just get ready for much faster systems, quicker systems, be prepared for a little bit of a shock because, and smiles on your faces, because that's what it brings. I mean, imagine what's happening at the consumer level. So same will happen at the organization level. So from preparedness, I think you need to prepare your management to really understand how to read this data, because they are used to a traditional way of doing things or reading data or understanding patterns, right? That has to go away eventually. So it's about evolution. So do that. From technical expertise, I think not really a lot, because it's all embedded within the system. System will do the things for yourself as long as you're on the latest version, as long as you're on the cloud. If you're not on the cloud, then you're not utilizing the full benefit. So I think the technical expertise is not much from the training perspective, but it's more from the deployment model, hardware, that kind of scenarios, and nothing more. User training will absolutely cover how AI will work. And the beauty of AI, it's always intuitive, right? It's intuitive. You should just know where to go. Once you are there, it will guide you on its own.
Yes, and you can ask questions in natural language. So training is kind of
absolutely
not that necessary. It will keep learning. So absolutely. Next question. I think you did hint on this early on in the session, which was will it lead to cost savings, efficiency, more better data-driven decisions, or competitive advantage for my company if I adopt AI within my ERP?
It's absolutely yes for all the features. Agility, efficiency, productivity makes you more competitive. Your organization using AI within the ERP system, you're moving much faster than your competition. You're getting more accurate decision making. You're getting faster data. Your chances of failing are lesser. Of course, will keep you ahead of the competition all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. The next question is about. I think again, you mentioned all of these: supply chain, finance, HR, customer experience. Where do you? I think it's just a kind of question for you. Where do you think AI will give the maximum benefits quickly?
See, at the moment, I think what we are seeing, and I can talk more about, see, every industry is different. So from Epicor's point of view, and mainly considering that most of our customers or the customers who are looking at Epicor are manufacturing, trading, distribution organizations. In this particular sector, the supply chain department, which is manufacturing, which is procurement, which is transportation, which is logistics, which is warehousing, etc. This is the department which has maximum use cases. This is where the maximum amount of transactions are happening. I think this department and use cases are available. Prism can do the work. is something where you can immediately start getting your maximum benefits. And then I would say the next level would be the finance department, especially the budgeting team, the costing team, etc. The financial planning and analysis, the tool which we covered, Kumar, is something I would say is the second area where you can derive maximum benefits. And then comes the C level, then comes the HR department. I think sales is another area, but I would say sales department, CRM systems with AI plugged in is a big use case, provided you have large number of customers and large variety of customers. If
Absolutely.
you are a B2B and you sell it to one or two customers only, large volumes and only just few parts or few products, then there's not much analysis to do.
Yep.
So it has to be the complexity of your customer type and product type, which will give the sales department an edge.
Yep. Agree. Absolutely. Uh, this I think is going back to the area around typical concerns. So you have any heard of any significant challenge anybody's talked about so far in AI adoption at an enterprise level or an ERP level? I guess it's very early days. I'm not sure if we already have feedback coming through on this, but if there are, could you just shed some light on that?
No, concern within the enterprise, within the ERP system, no, everybody's been happy doing it. The only concern I've seen is manufacturing organization where the owner never touched the ERP system. He was used to seeing one dashboard on his screen every morning and used to make a decision. And he doesn't want to change. That's the only concern. He doesn't want to read the data in any other form. He's saying, why would I do that? So, and this is also the same person who doesn't use AI in the personal life. So it's not about the tool itself. It's the mindset of the person who doesn't want to use extra tools and technologies in
Yeah.
their overall life, not just work life, right? So
Yep.
that's the only concern. But any other concern I'm not seeing. I think if you're taking your data, company data, and using some third-party AI tools which are on cloud or online, and supplying it over there to take some help, I think I would say avoid that.
Yes.
Not that we have seen a concern; people are pretty cautious about it. But overall, I think it's
Yep.
pretty straightforward and simple to use. I think it does require investment in
Yep.
terms of the latest technology comes at a cost. Secondly, you need to be prepared to be on the cloud, be ready to be a modern and advanced organization. So this requires some level of coaching, some level of stakeholder management, and some level of investment in terms of let's move forward and let's be forward thinking as an organization. So that's the only thing I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the long run, those who don't adopt have run the risk of being left behind or being less agile than the ones who adopt faster. Right?
True.
And we have only 2 more minutes. Just one last question, and unfortunately, we will not be able to take any more. But there's this question from Ruxana. She's asking, "Do you believe AI in ERP can significantly reduce costs vis-a-vis the initial adoption cost? Does it make it attractive? Uh, what do you say to that?"
Yeah, the ROI will be much faster than what it was before. In fact, you should absolutely go for it without thinking because it's not just going to cover the additional cost because of the AI being available. It will also help you cover the remaining cost of the ERP, the core ERP which you
Yeah,
implemented in the
exactly.
past. So, absolutely no brainer. It's just that uh, I already bought a car. I was already putting fuel in it. I spent a lot of money, and now you have a super jet fuel, which will now make the car faster, leaner, more efficient. It will consume less fuel, so your
Yeah.
cost of the capital expense of the car will be returned much sooner.
Absolutely. Fantastic, Vibhu. That was great. And I think a great question to end it with. So thank you so much. Yet again, a very, very revealing, interesting session from you. And thank you, audience. You've been great. And lots of questions, a lot of interaction. Thank you so much.
Nice questions. That was good. And right on time, Kumar. I think we didn't plan it, but
Yeah,
right
we are
on the
on the
hour.
dot. So we are just a few seconds from the top of the hour. So thank you so much.